What if the financial stress you're feeling is not because you're bad with money, but because you're living inside a broken model? Today, I'm going to show you why the old financial system was never designed for business owners or entrepreneurs like you and what to do instead.
In a world where chaos seems to reign supreme, where uncertainty lurks around every corner, and financial markets are now more unpredictable than ever, there's one place you can turn to find clarity and control. Welcome to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast.
Hey, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Amanda.
Join us as we dive deep in the world of personal and business finance
to assist you in navigating through the chaos and building the financial future you deserve.
We believe when conventional financial thinking doesn't get you where you want to go,
you need wealth wisdom.
So if you're ready to take control of your financial destiny,
tune in to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast.
Because in a chaotic world, your money shouldn't be.
Subscribe now and never miss an episode.
Okay, welcome back to the Wealth Wisdom Financial Podcast. Today's conversation is one of the most important ones I've ever had with my clients because it shifts the blame off of you and onto the real culprit, a financial system that was never built for us. Now, in the intro, very beginning, I use the word old. It depends on your definition of old. So I might be considered old by some, and some people might consider me young, for instance. Let's say the old system, the financial system's never really built for entrepreneurs, real estate investors. That's the system that was made about 45 years ago or so, 40 to 50 years ago. So if you consider that old, that's what I mean by old. It is not the timeless wisdom system that's been around for generations. If you think about it, the whole idea of having a W-2 and working for someone else is not very old in the grand scheme of things. More people have been entrepreneurs, business owners, tradespeople that work for themselves, more like independent contractors, those kind of things throughout history, right? Farmers, that's a little business, right? All those things then have actually worked for someone else. Very few part of the population did before the Industrial Revolution, right? All these things. So when you're around my age and you learn the financial system and what it is, it was actually created like just before I was born or around that time, right? Like it's not that old. All these things were taught. And I've been subject to it as well. I was taught all these things. I followed a famous financial guru. I had her books on my shelves. I watched her show on TV. Whenever I would come to a financial crossroads in my 20s, I would ask what she would do, look at her books, make financial decisions from there. And then I started a business and tried to keep doing the same things the same way, and I wasn't seeing the results I thought I should. And thankfully, I was introduced to some topics that were created many generations ago and have stood the test of time, are still working today, especially for people who are business owners, real estate investors, entrepreneurs, those kind of people. So if that's you, this is for you. Also, if you're like, even though sure, they've created the system that fits more with W-2 employees, people that work for somebody else, I've got this itch to start a business, or I don't want to just depend on the system as it is, right? You've questioned, is the system really working? This episode's for you too, okay? So let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah came to me exhausted. Amanda, I'm doing everything the experts told me to do. Sound familiar? I maxed out my 401k. I reinvest all my dollars back into my business. I track every expense, but I still feel broke. What's wrong with me? And I looked at her and I said, Sarah, nothing is wrong with you. You're trying to squeeze yourself into a financial model that was never designed for someone like you. Here's the brutal truth. The money model that you've been handed was not designed for entrepreneurs, real estate investors, or business owners. It was designed for W-2 employees in a corporate system that prioritizes institutional wealth over individual freedom. In fact, the 401k was originally meant as a way to bonus executives and not as the main way everyday Americans invest for their futures, let alone business owners and real estate investors and how they create wealth. That's not what the 401k was meant for originally. The model, that most people try to adopt tells you to delay gratification for 40 years, park your money in accounts that you can't touch, and accept whatever returns the Wall Street decides to give you. It assumes steady paychecks, predictable expenses, and zero appetite for risk, or maybe too much appetite for risk, depending on where you land on that one. But you, the entrepreneur, the business owner, the person who's thinking differently than the status quo, you might already be taking massive risks. You might have your wealth already tied to innovation, creativity, and market opportunity. You don't fit into cookie cutter boxes, and you never will, financial or otherwise. Now, the data is clear. According to a Federal Reserve, yes, that Federal Reserve study of consumer finances, they do more than just, set interest rates, they do studies. They found that business owners without employees, so just people, they're self-employed, working for themselves, they have nearly double the net worth of non-business owners. Double, 2 times. And that's before even counting the value of their business. Business owners with employees, right, that have people working for them, their median net worth is almost 10 times that of wage earners, 10 times. So congratulations. If you decided to start a business, most likely your net worth is much higher than people who just stay in W-2 jobs. But here's the contradiction that should make you very angry. It makes me angry. They also found that despite accumulating wealth faster, 72% of entrepreneurs struggle with mental health issues compared to just 32% of traditional employees. Nearly 40% of entrepreneurs constantly worry about money, even if they're financially successful. So what gives? Is it just more money, more problems? Is there something else going on that makes entrepreneurs have these mental health issues and constantly worry about money? It couldn't be their competence, right? They're at least smart enough to start a business. I believe, and the more and more I research this and study it and think about it and learn about the history, I believe that what's happening in people, and actually not, and also from interacting with business owners and entrepreneurs and people choosing, different paths for building wealth. Anyway, this is what I've come to believe. This dichotomy of they've got more wealth but more worry is that they're trying to use measurement systems that are designed for people who get steady paychecks, predictable expenses, and corporate benefits, none of which describe the reality of a business owner, right? That's why we can be profitable but still feel broke. That's why we can make smart decisions and still feel stuck. We're measuring success with the wrong ruler. Stay tuned after the break for how we get out of this. What do we do instead?
Ready to take the next step towards securing your financial future? Whether you're planning for retirement, saving for your dream home, or you just want to make your money work harder for you, the team at Wealth Wisdom Financial are ready to assist you. And now, it's easier than ever to see how we might give you a boost on your financial journey.
Schedule a 15-minute discovery call with one of us today.
And let's discuss your questions and your financial goals together.
Don't wait any longer. Your financial freedom awaits. Schedule your discovery call at www.wealthwisdomfp.com/call.
Now, when I first came across ideas that my preferred financial guru would have never introduced me to, and I was actually kind of angry that she never had, I had this temptation to just stick with the plan. Just work harder at the traditional system. Won't it eventually work for me? That was a question I had, and maybe you're asking that too. I should just stick with traditional. I'll get more support. There'll be more people that won't deride me, or I get enough slack from people who are why'd you ever start a business? That's why you're constantly worried. I don't want to change more, right? But that's exactly what Wall Street wants you to believe. They profit when you park your money in their accounts and wait. They win when you doubt your own instincts about risk and opportunity, what your strategy is for building wealth. But here's what they won't tell you. The quote unquote traditional financial model is only about 50 to 70 years old. For most of human history, wealth was built through ownership, trade, and direct investment. Exactly what you're doing as a business owner. The corporate employee model is the historical anomaly, not entrepreneurship. So when you reject their broken model, you're not being reckless. You're actually returning to the wealth building principles that have worked for centuries. So here's what I need you to understand. If you're willing to say, okay, I'm with you, I can go this way. You don't have a money problem. You have a model problem. You have a systems problem. And the good news is that models and systems can be redesigned. When we work with clients here at Wealth Wisdom Financial, we don't try to fix them because they are never broken. We build financial systems that match who they are. If they take a lot of risk, the financial system matches that risk. If they're like, I've got enough risk in my portfolio, I actually need more stability, we match that. If they're value creators, wealth builders who refuse to settle for someone else's definition of financial success, we build their financial strategy around their unique definition of financial success. Sarah learned this. Today, she measures her financial health using metrics that actually matter for the business owner. Cash flow predictability, opportunity reserves, wealth velocity. She's the same person, making the same smart decisions. But now she has a model that recognizes her brilliance instead of questioning it. She has a different measuring stick. The old model will make you feel like you're failing because it was designed to make you feel dependent. The right model will make you feel powerful because it's designed to amplify your strengths. So, are you ready to stop apologizing for being an entrepreneur, a business owner, a real estate investor, and start building wealth on your own terms? I hope so. And I hope you'll join us for something we call the Cashflow Reset. The next one is on October 25th, 2025. In this Cashflow Reset, we spend 90 minutes and we're going to help you identify the flaws in the old model and design your next step forward into financial confidence with your own way of measuring, optimizing, being who you truly are, and allowing that uniqueness, that power, that gift to help you build wealth the way you want to. It is not about learning more budgeting tactics. In fact, we've started to say that budgeting is the other B word. This is about building a financial framework that actually works for how you create wealth. You can save your seat at wealthwisdomfp.com/seminar. We'll have that link in the show notes, but again, it's wealthwisdomfp for financial podcast.com/seminar. For now, thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And remember, and if you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like. I think on YouTube or on Spotify, you can now comment back to us. We'd love to hear from you. And whatever you do, always remember, live long and profit. The topics presented in this podcast are for general information only and not for the purposes of providing legal, accounting, or investment advice. On such matters, please consult a professional who knows your specific situation.